The planet Zorath was a cold and lonely place. Thick smoke covered the sky day and night, so the sun never showed its true face. Tall metal towers stood like angry giants, watching everything humans did. The aliens who ruled the planet liked this darkness, because darkness made humans weak and afraid. They believed fear kept humans quiet, and quiet humans caused no trouble. In one small corner of this endless metal world lived a woman named Lena. She had a daughter, Mira, a girl with big curious eyes and a soft voice. They lived in a small metal room, no bigger than a storage box. The walls were thin, the floor was cold, and the air always smelled like old steel. Every night, the room hummed with the sound of alien machines, reminding Lena that she was not free. Humans worked hard on Zorath. They cleaned alien factories, carried heavy items, fixed broken pipes, and worked long hours with almost no rest. But even after all this, the aliens fed them only expired food, old packages with strange smells and dull colors, every morning. An alien guard would drop a small food packet at Lena's door. No words, no kindness, only orders. Lena opened a packet and sighed as a sour smell touched her nose. The food was brown, mushy, and cold. But she forced herself to stay strong. Beside her, little Mira looked up with worried eyes. "Mom, is this safe?" Mira whispered. Lena smiled softly, even though her heart hurt. "It will be okay, sweetheart," she said, offering the food. Mira took a small bite and tried not to cry. This was the life of humans on Zorath. No choice, no freedom, no dignity outside. The city groaned with heavy sounds. Alien ships floated above the streets, shining their red lights on anyone who dared walk too slowly. Metal drones moved overhead, scanning humans for any sign of rebellion. The aliens believed humans were weak, broken, and harmless. But deep inside the human district, a new fire was starting, and it began with whispers. That evening, after work, Lena stood in line with other humans waiting for water. The air was freezing, and many people wrapped old cloth around their bodies to stay warm. A man behind her leaned closer and whispered, "Did you hear the news?" Lena did not turn around. Alien guards hated whispers. "What news?" she asked softly. The man replied, "A human fought an alien guard today and won." Lena's heart jumped. Humans never won fights like that. It sounded impossible. Later, as she walked back to her room, more whispers followed her. Some humans spoke with fear, others with excitement. They all said the same thing. A human rebel was out there, someone brave enough to stand up, someone strong enough to make aliens afraid. When Lena reached her room, she found Mira sitting quietly on the floor. The little girl was hugging a worn piece of cloth she used as a blanket. "Mom," Mira said, "other kids in the hallway said a strong human is fighting the aliens. Is it true?" Lena sat beside her, holding her close. "I don't know," she said, "but maybe someone out there wants to help us." Hope was a dangerous thing on Zorath, but Mira's eyes shined a little brighter, and that soft light made Lena feel braver too. The night grew colder, and the city outside became quiet. Only the low hum of alien engines filled the air. Lena closed her eyes, trying to rest, but she could not shake the strange feeling inside her. It felt like the world was changing, slowly but powerfully. Something unseen was moving in the shadows of the dark city. Then, just after midnight, an alarm suddenly rang through the human district. A loud, sharp siren that shook the metal walls. Red lights flashed across the ceiling, and Mira woke up with a gasp. "Mom, what's happening?" she cried. Lena pulled her close, her own heart racing. Outside, alien guards ran through the hallway shouting orders. Doors slammed. Footsteps thundered. Voices shouted. Humans peeked through tiny windows, frightened but curious. Someone yelled across the hallway, "It's him! The human fighter! He broke another zone." Another voice shouted, "The aliens can't catch him. He's too fast." Lena felt Mira tremble in her arms, but behind the fear, she saw something new in her daughter's eyes. Hope. A spark the aliens always tried to kill, Lena whispered softly. Maybe this is the beginning, Myra. The alarms kept ringing, the lights kept flashing, and somewhere in the dark streets outside, a human was fighting back, and that single act was about to change everything. Asterisk. The alarms continued long after the night turned silent again. The red lights faded, the guards stopped running, but the fear inside every human heart stayed awake. Lena sat with Myra, wrapped in her arms, listening to the distant echo of alien voices. Something big had happened, something that shook the dark city in a way Lena had never felt before. When morning came, the sky was still dark as always, but the air felt different. Humans whispered more than usual, their steps quicker, their eyes brighter with fear and secret hope mixed together. Lena stood in the food line, holding Myra's hand tightly. The alien guard dropped the expired food packets without looking at anyone, but today, humans were not only waiting for food, they were waiting for news. A man in the line said quietly. They couldn't catch him, another woman added. He broke 3 security gates in one night. Lena listened, but did not speak. Her heart beat faster with every new whisper. Humans were talking about one man, a human who dared to do what no one else ever tried. They called him Rex. No one knew his real name, where he came from, or why he was so strong. Some said he used to be a worker in the outer factory zones. Others said he came from the mountains, where a few humans still lived in hiding. But the truth was simple. Rex had become a symbol, a spark inside every broken human soul. As Lena walked back to her metal room, Myra kept looking around with wide eyes. Every face they passed carried the same emotion. Curiosity mixed with awe. Even fear looked different today. It was no longer the fear of aliens. It was the fear of possibility, of change, of something new that might bring danger or freedom inside. Their small room, Lena placed the expired food packet on the floor. Myra poked it with her finger and asked, Mom, do you think Rex eats food like this? Lena smiled a little. Maybe not, she said. Maybe he finds better food. Does he share it? Myra said, her voice soft but full of hope. Lena didn't know how to answer, but she wished she could say yes. She wished she could tell Myra that someone out there cared about humans. That evening, a group of humans gathered quietly near the water station. It was dangerous to gather in groups, but today, fear mattered less. Lena joined them, holding Myra close. A tall man stepped forward and said, I saw him with my own eyes. Everyone gasped softly. Tell us, a young woman whispered. Tall man took a breath and began. He moved like the aliens were nothing. He didn't hide, he didn't run. He fought them with his bare hands. People leaned closer, hanging on every word. He broke their electric staff. He pushed 2 guards aside like they were made of paper. He even stole fresh food from their storage room. Fresh food. The words hit every human like a shock. Fresh food meant life, strength, something only aliens enjoyed. Where did he take it? Someone asked. The man answered. To the children's block. Lena's eyes widened. Children hardly survived on expired food. Some grew weak, others fell sick, but Rex, he had given them something real, something clean, something alive later. That night, after returning to her room, Lena found something strange near her door. A small metal chip, the same size as a fingertip. She picked it up carefully. Myra watched with big eyes. What is it, Mom? Lena tapped the chip, and a tiny glowing line appeared on its surface. A message played quietly, only a few words, but powerful enough to shake the air around them. Stay ready, humans, change is close. Lena felt a chill run down her spine. Change, a dangerous word on Zorath, a word forbidden by the aliens, Myra whispered. Mom, is that from Rex? Lena didn't know, but she felt something she had not felt in years. Hope mixed with fear. Strength mixed with doubt, but deep inside, she believed this message was meant for all humans, not only for her outside. Alien drones flew lower than usual, their red lights flashing in sharper lines. The guards shouted warnings. Pushing humans back inside their rooms, the city felt tense, as if something heavy was pressing against its metal heart. The aliens were nervous, and if the aliens were nervous, it meant Rex was doing something right. As Lena held the tiny chip in her hand, she looked at Mira and whispered, "Maybe someone strong is finally fighting for us." Mira nodded, her small voice trembling with hope. "Maybe he will save us." The dark city was changing, and somewhere in its shadowy streets, the mysterious human rebel was preparing for his next move, and every human, even Lena and Mira, felt that the real story was only just beginning. The night on Zorath moved slowly after the message chip arrived. Lena kept turning the small metal piece in her hands, watching the faint blue line glow every few seconds. She had never seen anything like it, not in all her years living under alien rule. Humans were not allowed to own technology, not even something as small as this. So the fact that this chip was now inside her room made her heart race with fear and excitement. Mira sat close to her mother, her eyes fixed on the tiny object. "Mom, what if the aliens find it?" she whispered. Lena placed a gentle finger on Mira's lips. "We will hide it," Lena said softly. "We must be careful." But even as she spoke, Lena felt something powerful stirring inside her chest. It felt like the beginning of a storm. A storm made of hope instead of rain. Outside their room, the human district had fallen into a strange silence. No one spoke loudly, no one walked freely, even the air felt tight and heavy. As if it was carrying secrets, alien drones hovered lower than usual, their red lights sweeping across doors and windows like angry eyes. Every shadow looked dangerous, every footstep sounded louder than before. The aliens were hunting for something, or someone. Rex. His name now moved through the city like a quiet fire. People whispered it with fear, with courage, with something close to belief. Lena hid the chip inside the thin crack under the floor panel. It was the only safe place she had. Mira watched silently, holding her blanket close to her chest. "Do you think Rex sent it to us?" Mira asked, her voice trembling but full of wonder. "I don't know," Lena said. But the message felt real. She touched her heart, as if the words were pressed there. "Change is close." The next morning began with loud footsteps and harsh alien commands. Metal boots echoed through the hallway as guards checked every door. Lena held Mira behind her, fear tightening her breath. A guard banged on their door, the sound shaking the thin walls. "Inspection," the alien shouted, its voice deep and metallic. Lena opened the door with shaking hands. Two tall alien soldiers stepped inside. Scanning the room with cold, bright eyes, they opened drawers, kicked the floor, shook the beds. Mira squeezed her mother's hand so hard her small fingers trembled. Lena kept a calm face, but inside, terror twisted like sharp wires. The chip. She prayed they would not find it, prayed with every breath. After a long, tense minute, the alien stepped out without saying a word. Lena closed the door slowly, her knees weak with relief. Mira whispered, "They didn't find it, Mom." "No," Lena breathed. "They didn't." Whispers began to rise in the hallways as soon as the guards left. Humans gathered in small groups, eyes darting nervously. Everyone felt the same thing. The aliens were afraid. They were searching because the mysterious message, the warning, the rebellion, had shaken them. Later that day, Lena decided to test the chip again. She waited until the hallway grew quiet. Then she pulled the hidden piece from under the floor. She tapped it gently. The blue line glowed brighter than before. A soft sound hummed through the room. Then a voice played, calm but full of strength. Not a voice she recognized, but a voice that carried the weight of truth. "Humans, stay ready. Help is closer than you think." The message was slightly different this time. A new sentence, new meaning, new hope. Mira's eyes widened. "Mom!" "It changed." "Yes," Lena whispered. "It updated." But the question burned inside her mind. How did the chip update inside a locked room? Who sent it? Where was the signal coming from? That night, Lena couldn't sleep. She sat near the small window, watching the alien lights sweep across the dark streets. The city looked the same as always, cold, cruel, metallic, yet something felt different. Something invisible was moving through the shadows. Something human. A few hours later, a soft knock came at her door. Lena froze. Mira sat up from her bed, frightened. Another knock, gentle but urgent. Lena approached the door. Carefully, her heart pounding. "Who is it?" she whispered. A low voice replied, "Do not open the door. Just listen." Lena stepped back. The voice continued, "If you received a message, keep it safe. More will come soon. The city will change, but humans must be ready." Mira clung to her mother's arm. "Who are you?" Lena asked, her voice trembling. The voice answered softly, "A friend." Then the footsteps faded away, swallowed by the darkness outside. Lena stood still for a long moment. The message, the chip, the strange visitor, all of it pointed to one truth. Something powerful was happening, a movement, a plan, a hidden force growing inside the dark city. And Lena and Mira were suddenly part of it, whether they wanted to be or not. The night returned to silence, but the silence felt different now. It was not empty. It was full of secrets, full of whispers, full of the promise of change. And in the heart of the dark metal world, a single thought rose inside Lena, strong and unshakable. This is only the beginning. The dark city of Zoreth felt heavier than usual the next morning. A strange pressure filled the air, like the world was holding its breath. Lena woke early, long before the alien alarms began their usual morning screech. She sat quietly with Myra still asleep beside her, watching the dim red light flicker under their metal door. Her mind kept replaying the soft knock from the night before, the whispering voice, the warning, the promise of change. Lena touched the hidden floor panel to check the message chip. It was still safe, still glowing faintly. She felt a strange warmth in her chest, fear mixed with hope. A dangerous but powerful mix. Outside, the sounds of guards moving echoed through the halls, sharper than usual. Something was about to happen, something big. By midday, humans were working quietly in the broken factory lines. Machines thumped, wires sparkled, steam hissed, but no one truly focused on their tasks. Everyone sensed danger. Everyone felt the wind changing. Mira stayed with the other children in the corner room, where humans gathered during work shifts. Even the children were whispering about Rex now, their voices soft but full of wonder. Suddenly, the ground vibrated. Lena grabbed the machine table for balance. A deep rumble traveled through the floor, like something massive had struck the lower levels of the city. Humans froze. Machines stopped. The aliens turned their heads sharply, their eyes glowing brighter. Then another explosion shook the factory. The lights flickered, sparks flew, and the ceiling groaned. Humans screamed and ducked. Alien guards shouted orders in their harsh metallic language. The factory alarms began to howl, loud enough to make the walls tremble. Lena's heart thudded hard against her ribs. This was not a small disturbance. This was something huge. Something violent, something planned. The alien commander stormed in, his armor shining with red lines, his eyes burning with anger. "Humans, stay where you are," he ordered. "Anyone who moves will be punished." But even he looked nervous. Even he felt the pressure of the unseen force shaking the city. The factory roof shook again, and dust rained down like dirty snow. A nearby wall suddenly cracked open, sending metal pieces flying. A few humans fell to the ground, covering their heads. One woman cried out as sparks hit her arm. Lena grabbed her hand and pulled her to safety. Fear made her limbs weak, but she kept moving. She had to survive. She had to reach Myra. The alarms grew louder. Red emergency lights flashed in fast patterns. Strange energy pulses shot through the factory, causing machines to short out one by one. Alien guards ran toward the upper level, weapons ready, their voices full of panic. It was clear now. The aliens were not the ones attacking. They were the ones being attacked. Humans looked at each other with wide eyes. Everyone knew what this meant. Everyone felt the same thought rising at the same time. Rex, he was here. He was doing this. He was shaking the dark city itself. Lena ran toward the children's room, her breath sharp, her legs trembling. She had to reach Mira. She had to protect her. Smoke filled the hallway as more explosions boomed in the distance. The walls flickered with emergency symbols in alien script. Half the lights had gone out, leaving the halls in a strange red and black glow. When Lena reached the children's room, she found Mira hiding behind a metal crate with 2 other kids. Mira jumped up and ran into her mother's arms. "Mom, what's happening?" she cried. Lena hugged her tight. "I don't know," she said, "but we must stay close." Suddenly, a group of humans shouted from the far end of the hall. "He's coming this way. He's fighting them here." Lena peeked around the corner, her heart pounding. A loud crash shook the hallway as an alien soldier flew through a metal door. Thrown with such force, the wall bent inward. Humans gasped. A shadow stepped through the broken doorway, tall, strong, moving with the confidence of someone who had nothing left to fear. Rex. He didn't look like the humans imagined. He wasn't wearing armor or carrying alien weapons, just simple clothes, worn boots, and a determined face. But his eyes burned with a bright fire, a human fire, the kind that no alien could ever understand. Behind him, smoke followed like a dark cloak. He walked forward with calm steps. Humans stared at him in silence. For the first time in years, silence did not feel like fear. It felt like awe. As an alien guard aimed its weapon, Rex moved faster than the eye could follow. He grabbed the weapon, twisted it, and sent the guard crashing to the ground with one powerful strike. Humans gasped again. Rex didn't even look tired. He turned to the humans and said in a low voice, "Stay ready, more raids are coming." Lena felt her knees weaken. The message was real. The promise was real. Rex was real. And the dark city would never be the same again. Asterisk. The hallway remained filled with smoke and shock long after Rex disappeared into the shadows again. Humans stood frozen, unable to believe what their eyes had just witnessed. A single human, with no armor and no alien weapon, had defeated trained alien soldiers with nothing but strength and will. Lena held Mira close, her heart racing but her spirit rising. For the first time in years, she felt something that had been buried deep within her, courage, a small spark at first, but growing brighter with every heartbeat. Humans began whispering again. But the whispers no longer sounded like fear. They sounded like awakening. They sounded like a people remembering who they once were. Some looked toward the broken door Rex had walked through, as if the air itself held a new kind of power. A few humans even smiled tiny, unsure smiles but real ones. Smiles that the aliens had tried to crush for a long time. The alien guards were furious. Their voices echoed through the metal halls, sharp and angry. "Find the rebel," one shouted. "Capture all humans near the raid zone," another barked. But the humans didn't cower the way they usually did. Not today, not after what they saw. Lena led Mira back to their room, her steps faster but steadier. Mira's small fingers held tightly to her mother's sleeve. "Mom," she whispered. "Rex saved us," Lena nodded slowly. "Yes, he did," she said, feeling that spark inside her grow stronger. "And he will do more." The city around them buzzed with new tension. Explosions had stopped, but the air felt alive. The metal walls carried the vibration of quiet movement. Humans walking with purpose. Aliens running with fear. It was as if two forces were rising at the same time, one of control, one of rebellion. Later, when the night dropped over Zoreth again, humans gathered in small groups inside dark corners and broken hallways. Lena joined them cautiously, keeping Mira close. In the center of one group stood an older man with silver hair. His voice was low and steady. "Today was the first time in years we saw a human fight back," he said, "and win." Humans nodded, some wiping tears from their eyes. "We have suffered too long." The man continued, "We were treated like nothing, like animals. But now we have proof that humans are still strong. a young woman whispered. Rex showed us. The older man nodded. He showed us what we forgot. Lena looked down at Mira. Her daughter's eyes were glowing softly with hope. Hope looked beautiful on her face. Hope looked powerful. Maybe hope itself was a kind of weapon. A weapon the aliens had never expected humans to use again. Suddenly, a soft humming sound came from Lena's pocket. Her breath caught. She reached inside and pulled out the message chip. It was glowing brighter than ever before, humans around. Her gasped as the chip projected a thin beam of blue light onto the wall. The beam formed words, clear and simple. Humans, do not be afraid, stand together. Your strength is returning. Lena felt chills run up her arms. The message was different again. Longer, more confident, more urgent. Mira whispered in awe. It's talking again, Mom. Yes, Lena said softly. It's alive. The humans stared at the glowing message as if it were a new sun rising in the dark city. Someone breathed. This must be from Rex. Another said, he is guiding us. A third whispered, this is how freedom begins. The message faded. But its impact stayed in every heart. Lena closed her hand around the chip, feeling its warmth. It no longer felt like a tiny piece of metal. It felt like a promise that humans were not alone. Hours later, back in their room, Lena and Mira sat together in the dim glow of a single light. Mira rested her head on her mother's shoulder. Mom, she whispered, do you think humans can be strong like Rex one day? Lena smiled softly, a smile she had forgotten she could make. Yes, she whispered. I think every human has strength. Some of us just forgot. Outside, the city was quieter than usual. Alien patrols moved with nervous energy drones. Flew in frantic circles. The power inside the city flickered once, twice, as if reacting to the fear of its alien rulers. The dark city was no longer only dark. It held a new kind of light. A hidden, rising light inside the hearts of humans. A light that had been small for many years, but now, because of one rebel, it was becoming something greater, something unstoppable. Lena placed a gentle kiss on Mira's forehead. Sleep, my love, she whispered. Tomorrow might be different. And as she lay down beside her daughter, one thought echoed in her mind. Clear, strong, and full of new power, the human spirit had awakened. Asterisk, the dark city woke up with a storm inside its metal walls. Not a storm of weather, but a storm of fear, confusion, and rising human courage. Alien sirens screamed from every street corner, red warning lights flashed endlessly, and soldiers marched across the metal walkways with their weapons charged. Something had changed, something the aliens could no longer ignore. Humans were no longer silent. They were no longer shadows. They were beginning to stand, beginning to hope, beginning to rise. Lena felt this change the moment she opened her eyes. The air felt heavier, almost electric. She sat up, watching Mira sleep with her small hand curled near her face. Lena brushed a strand of hair from her daughter's forehead and whispered, today will be difficult, little one. She stood and checked the message chip again. It flickered with a soft blue glow, like a tiny heart beating in her palm. Each message it delivered felt stronger, more confident, more alive. Lena had no idea how it worked, but she understood one thing clearly. Rex had not only started a fight outside, he had started a fire inside every human soul. Suddenly, a violent pounding shook their door. Mira woke with a frightened gasp. The pounding grew louder. Open the door, an alien guard shouted. Lena froze. Her hands shook. She hid the message chip under the loose floor panel and pulled Mira behind her. When she opened the door, 3 alien soldiers stormed in. Their armor glowed with angry red lines. One grabbed Lena by the arm, another inspected the room, pushing the beds aside, kicking the corners. The third pointed a weapon directly at Mira. Lena's breath stopped. Her heart felt like it would break through her chest. No one leaves their rooms today, the alien commander growled. Any human found helping the rebel will be punished. He leaned closer, his sharp eyes glowing. We know some of you are in contact with him. Lena felt her stomach twist painfully. She knew if they found the chip, everything would be over. For Myra, for her, for all humans. After a tense moment, the aliens left, slamming the door behind them. Mira collapsed into her mother's arms, crying softly, "Mom, why are they doing this?" Lena held her tightly. "Because they are afraid," she whispered. "Humans are changing, and they don't know how to stop it." A loud boom echoed somewhere above them, shaking the ceiling. Dust fell like gray snow. Humans in the hallway screamed. Alien boots thundered toward the upper levels. The whole city seemed to be shaking from the inside out. Lena felt something shift inside her. Fear had always controlled her. But today, something else replaced it. A decision, a choice. A new kind of strength. Mira coughed, her small body trembling. Her face looked pale. Lena touched her forehead and felt heat. The expired food, the stress, the fear. It was taking a toll on her little body. Myra whispered, "Mom, I don't feel good." Lena felt tears rise. She couldn't let her daughter suffer anymore. She couldn't wait for someone else to save them. She couldn't stay silent another day. She looked at the hidden message chip, at the faint blue light glowing through the cracks of the floor. Then she closed her eyes and made her decision. A decision that would change everything. "I will join him," Lena whispered to herself, her voice soft but filled with a new fire. "Rex wants to help humans, and I will help him." She picked Mira up, wrapped her in a thin blanket, and held her close. Humans in the hallway were gathering again, despite the danger. Some were crying, some were whispering, some were praying, but all of them felt the same fear and the same hope. Lena stepped out of her room. Her legs trembled, her heart pounded. But she kept walking, one step, then another. Every step felt like breaking a chain she had worn for years. She reached the back corridor, a place humans rarely went. The air smelled of smoke from the earlier explosions. Metal panels were bent and broken, a sign of Rex's battle through the area. A shadow moved ahead. Lena stopped, holding Mira close. Then the shadow stepped into the light. Rex stood there, covered in dust and smoke, but still standing tall, still strong, still human. His eyes softened when he saw Mira shivering in Lena's arms. He stepped closer and said in a low, steady voice, "No human child should live like this." Lena's breath caught in her throat. Rex gently placed a warm, fresh food packet in Mira's hands. "Real food, clean food, life-saving food. Take this," he said, "and stay close to me." Lena felt tears fill her eyes, not of fear, but of gratitude and rising courage. For the first time in her life, she did not feel helpless. She felt human, truly human. The aliens were ready to destroy anyone who stood against them. But humans were no longer alone, and Lena was no longer afraid. The confrontation had begun, and there was no turning back. The corridor shook as distant explosions echoed through the dark city again. But this time the sound did not make Lena fall to her knees. This time she stood tall beside Rex, her heart still scared, but her spirit unbroken. Mira held the warm food packet close, breathing in the smell of real nourishment for the first time in years. Her weak eyes slowly brightened. Hope spread through her tiny body like light pushing away shadows. Rex looked at Lena with steady eyes. "You are not alone anymore," he said quietly. His voice carried a certainty she had never heard from any human on Zorath. Lena nodded, her throat tight with emotion. For so long she had lived in fear, but now she felt something else: strength, courage, purpose. Rex turned and walked forward, motioning for her to follow. They moved through a damaged hallway where walls sparked with broken wires. Smoke drifted in the air, glowing red under the emergency lights. Alien boots thundered above them, but Rex did not slow down. His steps were firm, confident, calm, as if he carried not only his own bravery, but the bravery of every human who suffered here. Lena hurried behind him, holding Myra tightly. Every sound of danger made her flinch, but she kept walking, because now she understood something important. Freedom was never given, it was taken back, step by step, breath by breath. They entered a wide storage hall where humans were hiding behind metal crates. Some were crying, some were injured, some were praying. But when Rex walked in, silence filled the room. Then slowly, cautiously, the humans stepped out from their hiding places, their eyes full of awe and disbelief. One man whispered, "It's him." "The rebel," a young woman added. "He saved the northern sector," a child pointed and said. "He fights the aliens with his hands." Every voice carried hope, hope growing like fire spreading across dry ground. Rex raised his hands to calm them. "We don't have much time," he said. "Listen carefully." His voice was steady, powerful, human. A voice that carried more strength than alien weapons. "The aliens think fear controls us," he continued. "But they forgot something. They forgot humans can stand. They forgot humans can unite. They forgot humans can fight." The crowd murmured with rising courage. Lena felt her chest warm. Even Mira lifted her head, her eyes glowing with new life. Rex pointed to a large metal door leading to the outside sector. "Behind that door is the main power grid," he explained. "If we disable it, the alien control network will fail. Cameras, drones, security fields, everything will shut down. And for the first time in years, humans will have a chance." A silence fell as the humans absorbed his words. A chance, something they had never been given, something they had never imagined. "But the aliens will fight hard," Rex warned. "They will try to stop us. They will try to break us. But today, humans will not break." His words lit a fire in the hearts of everyone there. Lena felt her breath catch. She never thought she would be part of something so big, so dangerous, so important. One old woman stepped forward, her voice shaking but determined. "What do you need from us?" Rex looked around the room. "I need you to believe," he said. "I need you to stand together. I need you to remember you are human." A roar of courage rose from the crowd, a powerful sound that echoed through the metal walls. A sound the aliens had feared for years, the sound of humans waking up. Lena squeezed Myra's hand and felt her daughter's small fingers squeeze back. The warmth of that touch gave Lena more strength than any weapon. She stepped closer to Rex. "We will go with you," she said, her voice no longer trembling. Rex nodded with respect. "Then stay close," he replied. They moved toward the giant metal door. Alien footsteps thundered on the upper floors. Sirens wailed through the city. But humans walked forward anyway, together, side by side. Hearts beating as one, Rex placed his hand on the control panel. Blue sparks flashed. The door groaned and slowly opened. A cold wind rushed in, carrying the smell of smoke and metal. Beyond the door lay the central power core of Zorath, massive, glowing, dangerous, guarded by alien soldiers already preparing their weapons. Rex stepped forward. Lena took a deep breath. Mira held her mother's hand tightly, and together, humans walked into the light of their future, a future shaped not by fear, but by courage, by unity, by the strength of one human who refused to bow. And in that moment, as Rex led them forward, Lena understood the truth completely. A single human really could change everything.